Hello and welcome to today's Delta Credit Tip. So you got a pre-approval in the mail. Congratulations, you now get that great credit card that they've been promising you. But how did they get your information in the first place? Stay tuned, we'll give you a little insight on today's Delta Credit Tip. Hello and welcome back to today's Delta Credit Tip. So you've got that pre-approval in the mail, congratulations, but you've got a card with American Express, you've got a card with Bank of America, so why is Discover now all of a sudden sending you an offer in the mail? How did they even qualify me in the first place when I didn't even apply? Well, the answer lies in the relationship that they have with the bureaus in contrast to the relationship that you have with the bureaus. So I want to take you back to some of our older videos where we mentioned to you that you are not the customer of the three major credit bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. Actually, none of the bureaus you're really a customer of. Yes, you might want to know what's in your file, but that file isn't created for you. See, with the bureaus, you're not the customer. You don't really have to buy anything from them. You get everything for free. Free credit report, free disputes, all that stuff you get for free. You cost them money, right? But the debt collectors, the lenders, the creditors, they pay for that information. You are simply the natural resource. They buy and sell your information to make a profit, right? And they are for-profit companies. They're not nonprofit. They're not government. They are Walmart. And all they sell is different varieties of you, okay? And they sell it to the highest bidder. So all this information, all the permission that they have to do this is found in what they call the Law 604 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And it literally gives the credit reporting agencies the right to sell your information to satisfy a transaction, a potential transaction that you didn't initiate. They literally put it in law that they can do business with your information, okay? And the information that they're allowed to share is your name, your address, any kind of identifier that's not specific to you but kind of to the file, okay? And lastly, the way they quote this, it's any information about you that doesn't specifically identify your experience or relationship with any specific creditor. Everything else they can put on there and share that information. And that's a broad category when it just says information pertaining to you. It's kind of like when you read the ingredients and they say natural flavors. They can include whatever they want as long as they don't simply divulge the specific relationships that you have on your credit report. Okay? But somewhere in that 604 law is the exception. And that's what we want to bring up. If you're tired of getting the junk mail and you don't want your information to be sold, you can opt out. Okay? And there's two ways that you can opt out. One, you can use the online or phone service that the bureaus each provide. And it's really easy now to go online and opt out because they have to, right? And that's one way you can do it. The other way is you can use what they call, it's a specific election form. They literally call it an election form. You fill out the form, you send it in, and they will no longer have the right to sell your information. The process begins 5 days after you notify them that you want to opt out. Okay? So the next question becomes, well, if I decide to opt out, how long does that last? Well, it depends on how you file the information with the bureau. If you use their online or phone system, then that process will last for 5 years. After 5 years, you've got to go back into the system, renew it, and they will continue to opt you out. Why do they only have it for 5 years? Take a wild guess. assuming 5 years later you'll probably forget, and they'll be able to then resell your stuff. So you need to go back every 5 years and do it if you use that method to inform them that you want to opt out. There is option 2, like we mentioned, and that option is through an election form, which is a paper copy, right? So you fill out the election form, you send it in. Now that one lasts indefinitely until you use the other option, which is the online form or the phone service, to then cancel your opt-out. Why do they not let you use the form? Probably because of potential fraud issues. They want you to call in and verify yourself and all those other things before they allow your information to be sold and shared again. So why is this an important topic, right? What is about this whole 604 and sharing your information important? Well, it's important for 2 reasons. One, it kind of adds a little bit of light on these pre-approvals that you get in the mail. Because see, the thing is that they cannot identify any specific relationships that you had or the experience that you had with any of those relationships. So this pre-approval that you get in the mail that's based on the information that they got, it could be all kinds of information, but it should not share any information specific about the relationships that you had. So is it really a pre-approval? And if you actually look at lending law, they can't actually approve you for a loan or line of credit without an application. So that pre-approval you have in the mail, it probably does you more good as firewood because it really doesn't qualify you for anything. It's just simply fishing for leads, right? And they will use certain demographic information that they find through the bureaus to narrow down who they think a potential candidate may be. And you having a bunch of money is not necessarily what they're looking for. They're not looking for people who are able to use their credit card and pay it off every month. They want the person that's going to lean on that credit card and not pay it off for a very long time. All right, so it's not quality data that they're looking for in the natural sense of the word. Okay. The second big implication on this is that the 604 law is a lot more than just, hey, can I sell your information to potential lenders? There's also the whole idea of what they call permissible purpose. And permissible purpose covers a much broader range of information that's held on your credit report. Like, can they legally put something on your credit report in the first place? Who belongs in your credit report? Who actually is warranted access to your credit report, right? And that's where we're going to go to in one of our future videos, okay? So if you haven't already, subscribe below, hit the bell so that every Thursday as we come out with more information, you can be informed right out of the gate to help you in your credit restoration process, right? And this topic is going to be one of our upcoming topics about who is allowed on that credit report and who isn't. Most importantly, I need you to share the information. The whole point of us having this on YouTube is so that other people can become informed. Other people can arm themselves with this information. But most importantly, they can make a choice, make a change. Delta.